Hi, welcome to Pictures, Noise and Words. I'm Hedgy and I have Junichi with me again. Hi Junichi.
Hi, Heiji and everyone. Junichi
Yeah,
です。
sorry, I cut you out then. Say that again.
Junichi です。
Oh, Junichi.
Yes,
So Hedgy des.
I
Hedgy des.
perfect.
Yes. I'm learning. I'm learning very, very slow.
Great.
Very, very slowly.
I'm quite impressed. Your pronunciation is perfect, actually.
Yeah. Only because I'm copying you. Ask
Okay.
me if you ask me in an hour, I will say it wrong.
No.
So people should have seen Junichi already because he was on the GJ video with me. He very kindly came on and he's very kindly done the subtitles again for everybody. But it seems that people are on his channel have been asking him questions about me, and Junichi doesn't
Yes,
know everything about me.
right.
So he couldn't.
Because I asked Heiji to answer my questions that I get from all other Japanese baby metal fans, and they are so interested in Heiji because his opinion or your opinion is so insightful, and the people were wondering who is Heiji, and they asked me, and I realized that I don't know much about Heiji,
No.
so I decided I'm gonna request Heiji to do this video. So I really appreciate that you agreed to do this time. So,
Yeah, it's no problem. It's going to be a little bit strange because I'm not used to being interviewed about myself, and I have no idea what questions are coming. Everybody, I have no clue what these questions are. So you may.
so some people may see you as a celebrity because you are getting so much views on your video. But
Okay.
we all know that you're not a big movie star kind of thing, but they really want to know who is Heiji anyway. So
I can,
that's
I'll tell you how big a celebrity I am. Just about an hour before we did this video, I was trying to fix a toilet in my house.
really
So yeah, literally an hour before we were doing this, I've discovered a leak. It's I've got a damp patch on my ceiling downstairs where
wow.
because and I had to go upstairs, and the cistern, the bit the bit that holds all the water at the back of the toilet, it's got a tiny leak where the pipe attaches, and it had dripped into the floor. That I couldn't tell until it was a problem. So yeah, literally an hour ago, I
Okay.
was under my toilet with a spanner. That's how big a celebrity I am.
Okay.
So yeah,
Great.
no, not a celebrity. Trust me.
Okay. A few questions will be about yourself. People see you as and this is actually what was written in the comment, but you are honest, fair, and sincere person giving very insightful opinions. And everybody can tell that you are so knowledgeable about music. Our first question is how come you are so knowledgeable about music and so insightful and logical? And there are a few people asking me, maybe Heiji is teaching in school or in college. Can you
Okay,
tell us about yourself and
okay,
what?
that's more than one question there, isn't it?
Okay, right.
Uh, to about the teaching thing, I'm not a teacher. No, I work in IT. I work in computers. So um,
You're an engineer or
I
not
used to
in the
be
technology side?
I used to
Okay,
be
great.
an IT um, engineer, for want of a better word, an IT person. But
Mm-hmm.
now I'm in charge. I'm an IT director is my title.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't really do IT anymore. But that's so yeah. So I'm not a teacher anyway. I
Okay.
just work in IT. So um,
And you are very good at explaining things
I think that's
and
just because I have children. Yeah, I think when I explain things, I in the past I've done a lot of reviews of CDs,
Great.
and concerts for and written reviews before YouTube was a thing, really. So back in
So
2007, 2008 kind of time.
magazines or
Yeah.
websites.
But there's a website particularly where there's still 70 something reviews of mine on their website. It's called Room 13. Yes, so I used to do a lot of reviews, and what that means is that you can't just say something is good and you can't just say something is bad, because one, the review would be too short, and two, you're not telling anybody anything, are you, about, because the point of a review is that you may not have heard this. I mean, I know everyone watching this has seen this, but you may not have heard this, which is a different band entirely, a band called Communic from Norway, I think. So my job as a reviewer was to say, here's this CD, here's what it sounds like, and because people couldn't hear it, I was writing it down. They would only get to read it. So the mind of a reviewer is not whether I like it, though there's an element of that, but it's not just about whether I like it or don't like it. It's about putting across so that people can understand what this thing is, so that I'm saying it's very, this is heavy, but it's got some nice, it's got great melodies in it, and it doesn't matter whether I like it or not. If I don't like it, that's fine, but I will have to explain why I don't like it, and that's why it seems, I think I seem fair, is because I'm not just saying this rubbish, I'm saying this, not this. Obviously, this is great. Don't come after me. But I'm not just saying something is bad or good. I'm giving a proper thought out opinion. YouTube's a bit different to writing, of course, because I don't have time to think. I'm just doing it live, so it's just what's in here is just coming out of here. I have no time to think of it. So sometimes I will use a word. I got picked up for this. You got to keep me on track, Junichi, because I will start talking and I will go off on a tangent. But someone picked me up for using the word commercial when I was talking about something, because they saw it as if I was insulting something by saying it was commercial, and that's not it. I don't have time when I'm talking on YouTube to think about the words I use. So if I say something commercial, I just mean it's easy to listen to, or whatever. So YouTube's a different kind of thing, and I try all the time as I'm talking. In my head, I'm trying all the time to put my sentences together, and I'm doing it right now. So I'm putting my sentences together just in front of my mouth, so that I try to see where I'm going and which words I'm going to use. And every now and again, you'll see me go, and then out come the word, and it's because I'm trying not to mislead people. As for musical knowledge, I'm quite old. I'm 51, 52 this year.
You're young.
Okay.
Actually, you're younger than me.
Okay, he's really old, but I'm quite old.
Yes.
But that means that I've been listening to music since I was a child. So I've got 40 odd years of listening. And then from being about 19 years old, I learned to play the drums, and I played in bands. So that teaches you about structure, about song structure. It teaches you about tempo. It teaches you about feeling. So I am not a great drummer. I am not a great musician, but I understand when something is good or bad. I understand when it's good or bad. So is that any of that clear?
Oh yes.
Oh, okay.
Very much. And so, who are your favorite bands you used to listen to? When you were a teenager, or
when I was a teenager, it was Iron Maiden all the way. When in the early 80s, it was Iron Maiden or nothing. But before that, even when I was a child, I used to, for some reason, and I think I must have heard it at a friend's house originally, I heard a band called Yes, which is a
okay.
prog rock band.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I was a child, just like 7, 8 years old, I was listening to Yes, which is a bit strange, because I never
And
really liked pop music. Just didn't. When Pink Floyd's The Wall
mm-hmm.
came out,
Okay.
my sister got that, and that was a momentous event. And we were literally, it was just amazing. We played it. We got it on cassette,
Mm-hmm.
because nobody had invented CD yet, and we had it on cassette, and we just played it. Pink Floyd's The Wall, that definitely had an influence. Yeah.
Okay. Great. And you're a drummer, and I know you posted your videos that you did with your friend,
Oh yeah, yeah.
and you playing the drum, and also you were singing. But what music instruments do you play other than drum? Okay, great.
This was our album. Yeah, yeah. I don't play
So
anything
any
else.
other?
Nope.
Okay.
No.
So
And I can barely play the drums.
actually, the person who asked this particular question was that he enjoys music with his wife and son playing guitar and bass guitar. Anyway,
And that's great if you can do it. But the one thing that I've learned about musicians is that as soon as you put more than 2 together, they
mm-hmm.
fight. So
Okay.
as soon as you've got a band, then you tend to have problems, because creative people want their vision,
Okay.
and not somebody else. Which is why this works, because I did it with only one other person. So
Mm-hmm.
it was just there was only 2 of us to.
What what are your favorite music top 5?
Oh, crikey. I wish I had time to prepare for that one. What if I don't say Babymetal? What happens? Do I do people come and burn my house down if I
No,
don't
no,
say
no, I don't
Babymetal?
think so.
I like
But
Babymetal. It's not in my top favorite
mm-hmm.
bands, because the things that I like the most are things that mean something to me. So from my past, I would put, like, one of my all-time favorites is Yes, which I've said several times already, because it means something to me. It's something from my
Mm-hmm.
childhood, and you can't just push it out because something new came along. I've got too much history with it, kind of thing. I don't really listen to Iron Maiden anymore, but at one time Iron Maiden was everything to me in the in the 80s. So it's hard to come up with a list. So if you're saying who are my favorite artists now, right now,
Mm-hmm.
it would be people like Devin Townsend, who is a fairly genius musician. Who, I don't know if you know who Devin Townsend is, Junichi. If you don't,
I don't.
you definitely need to find
Okay.
out. I'm stuck. I'm on the spot. Who are my favourites? I can't answer this. Well, I'd say because there's just so many to choose from that it's like choosing your favourite child. It's because there are
Okay.
bands that I like. Who's my favourite death metal band? Opeth. Who's my favourite extreme band? Flesh God Apocalypse. Who's my favourite prog rock band of the moment? It'd have to be something with Stephen Wilson in. So I'm going to see Stephen Wilson tonight, by the way. By the time you see this video, I will have already been. But I'm going to a concert tonight. Can't wait. So it's hard to say who's my favourite, because
Okay.
I have a favourite in different genres. And on the spot right now, my mind just went blank. This is not
Okay.
going well. It's not going well. This is it.
No, this is great. So, okay. So you're doing lots of opinion videos about many different artists.
Yeah.
But how do you select those artists to do opinion videos?
When I started this, I had no plan.
Okay.
And I still don't have a plan. Because when I started this, like anybody else, I had no idea whether anyone would watch any of the videos. I could have done some and not a single person watched them. I don't, you don't know, do you? I have no way of. It's not like I can advertise.
Right.
It's not like I can, and I didn't even know whether I wanted people to really to watch them. I had no, like I say, I had no plan. I mean, I don't have monetization switched on my channel, so there is no money in this for me. I make not a single penny. In fact, it's cost me money to do this because I've had to buy better lighting and things to make it work. So I will get to answer your question, honest. So, but that means that I can do whatever I want because I'm not trying to get views. I'm not trying to get clicks. I'm not trying to get revenue from advertising. There are adverts on my videos, but just so everyone knows, I didn't put them there. They're put there by the record company that has the rights to the song. I do not put them there. So any video that has not been claimed by a record company, there will be no advert because I'm not monetizing it. So I'm not trying to chase clicks and views, and I'm not trying to be popular. So otherwise, I would just do endless baby metal videos because they get, I've got a baby metal video, it's got 40,000 views. So I should just do one of those every day. If all I wanted was people to watch. But so when I started, I had no plan, and I just did whichever things I liked. So the first video I did, first music video, which I didn't even have a video, it's just the sound and me talking because I didn't know how to do this stuff.
Okay.
Was like Opeth because I like Opeth, so I did an Opeth song. And then people did start to watch them for some reason. And then people started saying, oh, can you watch this one? So if it was something I'd never heard of, and there's been lots of songs on my channel I've never heard of and bands I've never heard of, what I do is I have a big bookmark list in my browser. So someone will say, can you watch this band, whatever it is? Here's a link to a video on YouTube of them. So what I do is I click on that link and I see the video for about 5-10 seconds just to make sure that the link is a real link, that it goes where they say it goes, that it is a music video in the genres that I deal with, and then I just bookmark it, and so I'll see 5-10 seconds of it, bookmark it, because if I'm going to give my opinion fresh, I can't. It's no good me watching it and then watching it again and giving my opinion because it's not fresh anymore. You can only watch something for the first time once, basically. Right. So I choose things I like, which I have videos that say classic, and it'll be something that I consider a classic from the past. So I'll put I did an old Twisted Sister video, and people who are my age will see that and go, oh, I remember Twisted Sister and what it meant to me at the time, and all of that. Right. So those I just choose. Then there are ones that people recommend to me by bands that I do already know, and if it's a new one, I may not have heard the song or seen the video, but I know the band, so I'll go, oh, I'll do that because I know who that band is. So that will go straight into my bookmarks automatically. And then, like I say, the things that I don't know, I just take a chance. I see. And what I found happens is that because I like a certain song, the fans of that song will also like that genre of music. So I'll put a Japanese band up, and I'll never have heard of the Japanese band, and the fans of that band will then recommend me other bands like that band. It's just because that's the other bands they're also into. And then somebody one day said, oh, do Ninganisu. And I had no idea who Ninganisu was, of course, never heard of them. I played their song and was an instant fan. So now I've done 3 Ninganisu songs because... So how do I choose them? I either know them, somebody's recommended something I know, or it's random chance. I don't just throw things out that I don't like. I've just been very lucky that people have been recommending, and also when people are recommending things, they recommend things that are good. Nobody recommends anything that's terrible anyway. So usually I see it and go, wow, that was really good. So just wins. Yeah, that's how
Okay.
There's no formula for getting your video on. I just random.
Okay. Thanks. Okay, so
this is so strange. I've never been interviewed before.
So there are some questions about the baby metal songs that you see. What is your favorite song among the baby metal songs you did?
It would be Tales of the Destinies.
Okay.
And the one.
Mm-hmm.
For a couple of reasons.
Mm-hmm.
One, it really had an effect on me. The one. If anyone's seen the video, you'll see that I was quite sort of emotionally touched by that song. But the other thing is it has the genres in that I like. There's a nice Dream Theater bit in Tales of the Destinies, so it's more. I can connect with it quicker, I guess, than we've just done GJ, and I hear the heavy music and I hear the voices and the melodies, but there's a little barrier or a little distance between me and the meaning of the song, which you very kindly explained to me, and now next time I hear it I'll be a lot closer to it. But so Tales of the Destinies and the One was much easier for me, I guess, as a Westerner to relate to
Okay.
you know.
Okay, great. And a couple of people were asking what you thought of Sue Metal's English. She sang the one in English, and then what did you think?
I think it's amazing, because it's not as amazing as your English, but it is amazing. And the reason I think it's amazing is because if I try to say anything in Japanese, and it's the same thing in the opposite direction, isn't it? If I try to say anything in Japanese, I just can't get my mouth around it. My mouth just won't do the sounds, because some of the way that the sounds, not syllables, but whatever, the sounds follow each other, I can't get my mouth around. So when I did, was it the Tales of Destinies one where I said hello in Japanese at the beginning?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, was it that one?
Yes.
I said, konnichiwa.
Yes, you did.
Whatever I said. I had to listen to Google Translate say that about 10 times because it wasn't, konnichiwa is quite easy, but there was a couple of words after it that I was struggling with, and I didn't say it right, because I didn't say Hedgy des at the end. I said Hedgy de, which is not right. And the reason is I had Google Translate say it about 10 times. And I'm trying to I'm repeating it, and the Google's saying it, and I'm repeating it, and Google's saying it, and when I thought I'd got there, I clicked go on my recording, and I said konnichiwa, da, 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 da. But I was just mimicking, I'm just copying what Google has said, and Google, when it said my name, said Hedgy D, and it just went D, so I went D instead of dis.
Okay.
So her English is fantastic, because I know that we have sounds that are not, not easy for Japanese people, like R.
Right.
R is
we don't
difficult.
have that sound.
No. Why do you think? I'm asking you a question now. Why do you think why is she trying to learn English? For what purpose?
Okay, actually,
to talk to the audience.
Actually, she
didn't think you were going to get a question, did you?
No, never. But actually, she enjoys communicating with people when they travel overseas, and she wants to make friends with local staff during the concert. And one biggest reason is that because the audience is hearing her Japanese songs, but she was so moved when the crowd sang along when she was singing in Japanese. and she decided that baby metal should be speaking to them directly in their languages, or not necessarily their language, but in English.
Yeah.
And she is learning English to enjoy communicating with overseas people. So that's what she decided, that because the fans are the one big community, and English is the language that most of the people are using and understand. So
yeah, and I get that. I think what's happening with, in my opinion, with Babymetal is that they used to be a Japanese band, but
right,
but they're becoming a band from Japan, which is
mm,
not the same thing. So you've got a Japanese band, which is, something that is very Japanese and stays in Japan, and people can still like it from anywhere in the world. But it's like me watching, I'm trying to think of a Japanese band now off the top of my head, but it's like me watching Ninganisu, say. Ninganisu are a Japanese band. They're in Japan, and I can look from the outside, if you like. But Babymetal is moving into being a band that belongs to the world, that comes from Japan. And they're becoming more and more international, I think. So I don't know this, of course, but I wonder if the next album will be more international. So there might be more English songs on it than there were before. And that in a way, Japan might lose them a little bit to the world. I don't know what everyone thinks of that. And you should all, I mean, everyone in Japan should be very proud of them, because not just because they've become a worldwide success, but because it's, I think, certainly for people like me, it's given me a bigger interest in Japanese music. Because without Babymetal to start it off, I would never have listened to all the other Japanese bands that you'll find on my channel. So, the Love Bites and Bandmade and Ninganisu, who I love now,
right,
and all the other Japanese, I wouldn't have gone looking for them. But you see, the world has seen Babymetal and has thought, well, what else is there? What else is there? So for Japanese music, I think Babymetal is fantastic, and everyone should be really proud of what they've achieved, because to cross the cultural boundary, and I think between Japan and certainly, say, me, that boundary was huge, because the language is so different. I cannot even translate it in using Google or whatever. I can translate German, I can translate French, I can't translate Japanese. Not all the time, but sometimes I just can't do it. So our cultures are so different, our histories are so different, and all of that. And they've managed to overcome all of that, not just in England, but everywhere. And there's a cultural boundary between England and America. It's only small, but it's there because we are different places. And then mainland Europe, France, Germany, Italy, wherever, they all have their own cultures. And Babymetal, because the music, I think, is so solid and universal, and because there's fun is universal, I think they've just broken out. But I think I think Japan might lose them to the world a little bit now, because they've become so popular that when they think about something that they want to do, I think they'll always be thinking, but how will this play in America, or how will this play in England, or how will this play not in Japan? So when we did the GJ video, there's which is a very Japanese thing. Maybe they just won't do it next time in the next album, something like that, because they'll think they'll have in their mind what's going to be big everywhere. I don't know. It's just what tends to happen when a band stops being a local band and becomes a national band, and then they change, and then they become an international band, and they change again, because you can't help it. You spend 2 years on the road touring around the world and being told all these different things by different cultures. You can't stay the same person, can you? It's impossible. So it's how it's it's how it's managed. I mean, what Babymetal has got going for it, I'm just talking and talking here, aren't I? But one thing that Babymetal has for it that might keep it grounded is that the people who write the songs are already older and more experienced and already know how the world works, and you know, and not, perhaps not quite as influenced. Whereas if it was just the three girls, say, that were writing the songs, they can't help but be very influenced, I wouldn't have thought, with all of these new I know they've been doing what they do for a long time. They didn't just start doing it last year. They've been doing it since they were children, but they were in Japan, weren't they? Which is like I say, which is a particular culture. And now they've got all of these worldwide influences, and they're learning to speak English because they know that their international audience will, you know, will understand them in English. And so they're making changes and concessions to being world famous, basically. And my hands won't stay still. but yeah, so I'd forgotten what the question was, but
well, thank you very much. That answers the question, and really insightful. And I have actually half a dozen more questions and comments, but I'll stop asking this last question. Is that you were skeptical about Babymetal, so people want to know probably
why did I change my mind?
Right.
When I did, and people can't see it now, unfortunately, but when I did Gimme Chocolate,
right,
my experience of Babymetal was very small. You know, I didn't know I still don't know all the songs, you know, so I'd only heard a couple of songs. I've always quite liked that song, but I don't like liking it. I don't like the fact that I like it. It's like, I shouldn't like this. I shouldn't like it. So I have this, and because it triggers all of those reactions I have to things like pop competitions and things where something has been manufactured. And that, when I did the Gimme Chocolate video, which nobody can see anymore, I'm sorry people, but I did say,
actually, we see it in Japan. It's,
okay.
It's still there.
All right, nobody else can see it then. I haven't seen it. I've got it on my computer somewhere, but I don't watch it, obviously, because I know what I said. But I did say in that video, I love and hate this song at the same time. That was the very first Babymetal video I did. I didn't know the community existed or anything, and I said in that video, I love and hate this song. I love it because it sounds so good. The production is so big, and it's so well done. It's so well put together. All the elements fit together, even though they shouldn't. You know, big heavy sounds, and the girls going ta 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 ta, shouldn't work. It does, but it shouldn't. So I really liked that, but I hated my concept, my perception of the manufactured thing. So that's why I had the reaction I had to that first Babymetal video. And then people like you and people like the rest of the community, instead of saying you're wrong, you're an idiot, or because I've had that. People don't see all the comments that come on my channel. I get ones that are not very polite, shall we say. But the Babymetal community didn't do that. They all said, "Oh right, well, that was the beginning, and things have changed, and you should look more at these musicians are from here. This is who they are." And people just gave me such good information and were so nice to me that you can't ignore people that are nice to you, you know? Because I had no intention of doing another Babymetal video. I was just going to do one, but the community was just because it was just a song to me, you know, at the time. But now Babymetal to me now is the community of Babymetal, and I now have a much better understanding of who the musicians are behind it. I have a better understanding of what the girls have gone through in their journeys to you know, the festival they'd played in the UK, and then they've done Wembley, you know, and so I didn't know any of that before. So I've basically changed my mind. I've not changed my mind about manufactured bands, trust me, at all. I have not changed my mind. I do not like things that are made to be a product when it comes to music, because I'm a snob. Because I believe that music. Yeah, I'm a snob. I believe that music should be by musicians because they care, you know, and not made by someone in a room who's trying to make a thing to sell and doesn't care, you know. And so I haven't changed my mind about that. What I've changed my mind about is the amount of care that has gone into Babymetal that I couldn't see at the beginning. You know, the guy, I don't know his name, the guy who writes the songs, you know, he's really into his music. He loves all these different genres, which is why you can hear so many genres in Babymetal. So so the community changed my mind. I didn't necessarily.
That's interesting.
I didn't just change my mind one day and go, you know that thing I didn't like? I like it now. Because the reasons I didn't like it were not because I didn't like the music, and were not because I didn't like the emotions being created, and you know, none of that. It was purely about what I considered it to be, which was not metal. It's because metal to me is something that I've had my whole life, and it means something to me. You know, it belongs to me, if you like, and so I don't like it being messed with. I don't mind joke bands and stuff like that, not at all. But it's when something is pretending to be something it's not, and that's how I saw Babymetal. But the community, the Babymetal community, was so nice to me that I changed my mind. Not because they were nice to me, but because they gave me so much information, which made me go and look, and then it made me go and do another video, which also got blocked. But you know, I did another video, and then I thought, you know what, there's clearly more to this than I'm seeing. So then that's because I did another video, people gave me more information. So then I did another video, and before you know it, I'm doing 45-minute Tales of the Destinies videos.
All right.
And people are asking me questions from the other side of the world. So I didn't change my mind. Everybody else changed my mind.
Great.
I would
Interesting.
say.
Okay.
And that's what it is to be open-minded, willing to change your mind. I could have just gone, nope, don't like it, refuse, don't like it, don't like it, don't like it. But you have to be open-minded because metal has so many genres and is being reinvented all of the time that if I just sit doing this all the time, I'll just listen to Iron Maiden and nothing else, you know, because that's who I like, and I'm not interested in anything else. And I couldn't do a channel like this if that was how I was. So yeah, I should have just said I didn't change my mind. Everybody else changed my mind, and I could have cut out the last 20 minutes of me talking.
Okay, thank you very much. And there was one, or actually 2 or 3 people who ask this question to Hedgy. Is he willing to do one whole live concert review? Because Babymetal has got different music in their albums. You haven't heard this, but they've done a folk metal or a Viking metal type of music as well. And there are some other kind of metal. So maybe sometime you can think about it.
The problem with doing that, or the problems with doing that, it's not about the time. It's not about how long the video is or anything like that. But because Babymetal has to be muted,
right?
What people are going to get is a 30-minute video of me going, so who wants that?
Right.
You know, who wants a 30-minute video of me going, you know?
Okay.
With other stuff that I can just pause and talk about, yeah, it's not such a problem. But I just think it would be boring for people to watch.
Okay.
I can sit here.
So Now that makes sense, and I think those people who asked the question understand it and probably agree.
I don't know how long this has been. How long have we been talking? Feels like forever.
Right. Okay.
You've got some translating to do. You've got some
Right.
serious subtitles to do.
Okay, I'm gonna enjoy it anyway, but
We can always cut it all down.
okay, and thank you very much for your time.
No
and
problem. I hope I actually answered the questions. I'm not sure.
Yes, you did, and I really enjoyed it,
Okay.
and I'm sure that people would enjoy it too.
Okay then.
So I'll let you prepare for tonight's concert. So
yeah. What time is it? Don't know what time it is. It's 3:00 in the afternoon here right
Okay.
now. So yeah. So yeah.
All
Thanks very much. That was interesting.
Okay.
And
Thank you.
yeah, I'll see you soon. We'll just say goodbye to everyone.
All
Thanks for
right.
watching, everyone. Goodbye.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.